Journal entry, 1st of the month of January, in the year of our Lord 1115. I must remember the complexities of politics, my father has said. There are few good men around, and most will look after their own advantage. When we received the missive from the papacy and were forced to read the announcement aloud in the town square, calling for a crusade towards the Holy Lands to crush the infidels and retake the holy city of Jerusalem for God's glory, those words rang true for me. I could see the pain in my father's face when he saw the eager faces of the townsfolk. How easy are they manipulated. Tell them something is God's will and that they'll earn eternal life in heaven, and you'll see the fire in their eyes. Despite our best efforts to improve life in the duchy, much remains to be done. Still, they demand we burn someone for being a witch regularly. Alas, blindly and willingly, with fervor, they are willing to throw their lives away for the personal ambition of the Pope, whom, in the privacy of my thoughts, I do not consider a holy man, but one who seeks nothing but worldly glory to his name. Yet follow we must, and if only to protect those who go on this folly of a pilgrimage with nothing but the clothes on their backs and a dull knife in their hands. I loathe to see another battlefield, yet maybe deeds of compassion and protection can cleanse my spirit as well. Thus we embarked on the long journey across the Middle Sea, the capable Thierry holding command of all of Toulouse's forces. With less than 2 months remaining, the First Army of La Salle is moving towards the Byzantine Empire, the last friendly holdout, at least in terms of religion, in these troubled lands. So from there on out, we'll set to, well, basically occupy probably either Tripolis or Beirut, and that should open up lands further south. We probably cannot bypass the castle of Tripolis, so that's probably where we'll be heading first, and build our base there. From there, when we can head south once the rest of the Crusaders arrive, and the task is to keep the road as safe as possible for anybody who arrives there with religious fervor and nothing else. There's a plague up in the north. What is it? St. George's, another holy fire. Okay, but that's far from us. So far we're quite clean in terms of plagues. Although there is increasing amount of fighting going on, despite the fact that the Holy Crusade has been called and armies are on the move all across Francia, which and probably the other lands as well, which means local lords might be trying to take advantage. Now, we are not actually having an enormous amount of income, and obviously the armies being raised is costing an additional amount. But as long as Duke Bernard the Strange is in power still and at least organizes everything from home, then things can work out pretty well. He can hold mystical communion once more, and I think that's a good idea. So off we go doing that. And yeah, we're not spending any coin to construct anything because right now we are spending a vast amount for the armed forces and their upkeep. Hopefully, we can make some coin in the local areas for the coffers to refill them. Yeah, Bernard, in his old age, is not going to be leading the troops anymore, so we'll be waiting. And there seem to be other armies on the path here as well that are making their way into the Byzantine area. 28 days, so we'll probably take position in the castle at the castle of Crusader, and then from there on we'll make our way towards. I think Tripolis is probably a good starting point, because eventually we want to go south towards Jerusalem, or Beirut is a massive castle, level 7 fortification. So we'll probably start with the castle in Tripoli. instead. But for now, yeah, we'll just be moving across. We'll just be moving across and waiting for the Pope to officially declare the beginning of the Holy Crusade, which is only a few days away. We can probably already position our, given that we know what's coming, position our armies at Tripolis. How are we on supply? Which once we hold the castle, that's when we are going to get supply. So the supply limit in in Tripolis is actually higher, so that's where we'll be heading. Actually, no, we have to wait until we've lost the recently disembarked. So 7 more days, and then it'll be fine, because it'll be 10 days until the Pope declares the Holy War. So we shall wrest the castle of Tripolis from the enemy, and then we will see what happens. We've lost it, and the Crusade for Jerusalem begins. The time has finally come to bring St. George's holy wrath against the vile infidels of Jerusalem. Inflamed by righteous fury and unyielding resolve, and definitely not greed for personal glory, fame, and domination, and more gold than his neck can carry, Pope Alexander, the great army of Crusaders assembled by Pope Alexander, sets forth to deliver divine justice upon the wicked and earn their place in heaven. Okay, so we will get 761 gold divided among the participants. I didn't get any, unless I've not paid attention. But obviously now the Crusaders are starting to trickle in, and it looks like we actually have the numerical advantage at this point. So we are among the first to make our way towards the enemy castle, and we've met in battle. Thierry at the charge against Mushin Jamalid, and 755 of his footmen. I think they are going to fall to our cavalry relatively quickly. So this little army will be wiped from the face of the ground. There we go. And we have captured Mushin Jabalid himself. So that is always a good opportunity. Okay, he cannot be ransomed. Now that's unfortunate. I would have thought that we would be able to get a ransom out of him. Oh well, we shall be besieging Tripolis then, and while the enemies are on the move. And so far we're first because we've been the only one to make any kind of contribution. Well, we'll see if the siege is going to be successful. In fact, there is the first army of Beirut. So what we can do is we can station besiegers, and then the rest of the army goes after. We'd lose men by bypassing the castle. That's fine. Okay, and then in that case, rejoin them. We'll conquer the castle first, and if there's anybody else, we'll have to quickly have a look. Oh yeah, we've completely wiped out the enemy at the slaughter of Tripoli, and my son, where is he? Aldéric is engaged in this as well. He is the heir to the throne, and he has 2 kills to his name. Right, siege of Tripoli ongoing, and more friendly noblemen from Europe, all across Europe, are joining the call from the Pope. And we are actually, now that we have disembarked and we're at war, things actually go pretty well. That said, the enemy is obviously starting to raise his forces as well, and we have to make sure that we can get Tripoli under control before they can manage to start raising significant forces, because we are the vanguard here. The other armies haven't arrived yet. So we need to get the castle under our control, and then we have a starting point from which we can launch further operations. And we can probably we could try to assault Beirut as well, but it is a very strong keep, so that would be a good second step. But we can always fall back towards Tripoli if the necessity arises. Now the siege is almost complete, and so far no sign of the enemy. These are neutral armies in the north by the looks of it, so they have not joined. And with that, the siege has been won. We have captured the Chancellor of Sheikh Yaqub. Let's see if there's anybody who is willing to ransom. No. Sheikh Yaqub apparently, does he not have, he has the coin. I wonder why he is not willing to ransom his men. But we now have Tripoli under our control, and that means we probably have the forces to, given that there's nobody in the area yet who is ready to give battle, we probably have the forces to engage Beirut as well. So let's head south and begin besieging the major citadel of Beirut without necessarily losing any more men. And it's going to take about 8 months, because that's a significant amount of castle walls. But if we can take that stronghold, that'll give us a good starting point towards further southern conquest and towards Jerusalem. Obviously, we have won the first battle and won the first siege, but the rest of the troops should be probably shipping in sooner rather than later. But it pays to be early, and so far there's no organized resistance. There are, I think, Byzantine armies in the north, but other than that, there's nobody really around. Ethelbur, Edric's daughter of Exeter, has come of age, but yeah, she is unfortunately afflicted with the leprosy, and despite the fact that we have reduced disease symptoms, she's also not really interested in getting married. So I think we will leave her be. We will let her stay at court, obviously, but under careful supervision to make sure that the disease does not spread. And other than that, I think everything is in good shape. We have no enemy schemes going on, and everybody at the council is qualified at what they're doing. We could get a master of the horse, but it would cost additional coin, and we're still relatively short. So I think the advantage. Who could we employ? If we do that by aptitude, we have a few knights who could become. So that would be give us 3 additional knights, 8% knight effectiveness, and travel speed. And we could also get advantage from that. Yeah, I think that's not a bad one. If we do that, we're still in the positive on the monthly income. The army pursuit is not that helpful, but the advantage. That's only on if I'm commanding my own armies, which I am not. So there's no point in doing that. But still, having a master of the horse, I think, given that we are at war, is not a bad, and that we have relatively heavily cavalry based, is not a bad thing. And yes, we actually have few knights at this point, which means let's see if we can. Who do we have? We've got Robert. 13. He is an antagonist. He's a vengeful villain, a raider. No, what I'm thinking more is, do we have any? Who do we have? We've got her. We could. She is of House Exeter, despite the fact that she is afflicted with leprosy. So we could see if we could get. Who do we have? That's a treacherous villain. I don't want him. But yeah, we could get. Oh, he is a bold gentleman, Wiegerich Kaunitz of House Kaunitz. Would that work? I mean, they obviously wouldn't have children, but that it's more of a political alliance between the House of Kaunitz, and we do that matrilineal, then he would be joining the House of Exeter, which is closely affiliated with Toulouse. And I think Master Henri the Shrewd of the Hammer of Mutel would actually be willing. House Kaunitz. Okay, so he's the only member of House Kaunitz. So he is noble, and he would certainly be a good fit for the as a knight. So we'll send that proposal, and we will see. He will be fighting in the war anyway, and it's a purely political marriage. So it allows him. Okay, yep, there we go, and that should get him into. Yep, there we have him, Wigerich Kaunitz, Wigerich von Kaunitz, as he should be. He is a monster on the battlefield, even better than Radomir. What happened to Radomir? Oh, Radomir's infirm. He's already 60 years old. That's why. Yeah, so he takes the mantle off of Radomir, which means we are going to change the Acolyte's successor. Can I, interestingly enough, I don't have, okay, they need to have the brave trait. So right now the Acolyte returns to turns over to Aldéric. Oh well, we'll take it. We'll take it for now, so we'll leave it at that. All right, but we do have an additional knight at court, and we could, we are going to reset that. We could hire Robert, but I don't like his attitude. He's very vengeful, so nah, not too happy to have him on board. I think we're doing all right for now. Still no interest in ransoming. Ransoming. Sorry, English, Terry. Do you speak it? In paying a ransom for any of these people. So I might just release them then. Anybody we could recruit as a he's a bit paranoid, but Musin Jamalid. He is righteous, honorable, and bold, and he's not bad with the blade. We could simply recruit him, and we could demand that he converts. That he converts from his beliefs to Christianity. We could use him as a knight. I shall negotiate his release, and we've got him. He's terrible. He's a physician, but other than that, I think we will simply release him for a favor, since his liege is not interested in paying. All right, we have another knight, and with that, I think he should be in somewhere here. Yep, there he is. So he has converted to Christianity, and with that, yeah, Volkart is not coming. He's much more important at home. But with that, we're starting to have a few better fighters in our numbers, because everyone is getting sort of old at the moment. All right, and Seyfullah has been released as well. Unfortunately, we can't get him to pay off the obligation, but who knows what it's useful for. 5 months left on the siege of Beirut, and meanwhile, Volkart at home is taking care. Let me have a quick look if there's anybody. Age. Okay. Oh yeah, we have Gisela de Villeron. Sorry. Actually, yeah. If you noticed that there was a bit of a time jump. What happened was that apparently Crusader Kings 3 has a limit of how many cloud saves you can have. And if you create a new cloud save and that limit is reached, it quietly says that it saved the game, but the save game is not anywhere to be found. So what happened was that I was loading up the game, and it was loading up. I was loading up the game to test something, something completely different, and then it overwrote the autosave. But I was trying to reload the previous save, and the previous save was gone. So I had to actually use one of the older autosaves. Nothing had really happened except for another granddaughter. This is from Raulf and Richenza. So she needs to actually have a guardian. So little interesting things. It's actually, let's see if we can find her mother Richenza von Altenburg would be nice. Or she. We give her to Peronella. I mean, she could have something to do in her old days. There we go. She can take care of her granddaughter. Yeah. So no further children, but a fair amount of increase in the overall size of our clan and family. New learning lifestyle available. We can get disease resistance, fertility and health. Okay. Alternatively, we could go down the pedagogies tree. Do I have any wards right now? I still have one ward. No one actually can be educated, but Charles. He is the son of Ebon and Cécile and is currently under my care. So that's probably actually a good one. So pedagogy, we'll take it. And other than that, we'll save up our coin. We're not going to construct anything else at home. Earl Gillespie II replaced his father, who has died of cancer. And we are meanwhile still besieging Beirut. Tarkulf von Nassau, at 72 years of age, my chancellor, my old knight, and my old friend, has been afflicted by the consumption. Now, is there an outbreak of anything? I don't think it is. So that might have. No, there is. What is this? Bloody flux. Okay, so we do have an outbreak of disease on the coastline here, which means I'm going to have to start replacing my chancellor soon, I guess. But let's switch Ermescence towards plague resistance. I think that's an important change. And that would be that. And with that, we'll have to potentially replace Tarkulf. Let's see who is skilled at diplomacy in the court. Ebon would actually be a good replacement for him. And given that I think Elodie is a diplomat, but she has the disadvantage of being willfully female and as such completely unsuited for the task in this time and age. So I think the spy master obviously would be one that help where females are accepted, but other than that, not so much. So Ebon would be the logical replacement, and he obviously being the son of Charles and Elisa, so he's already a second generation on my old crew. But yeah, poor Tarkulf von Nassau. He's been through much in his life, but he's among friends. He survives Daria, who's been troublesome, who died of pneumonia, and Adiva, who so tragically fell from a mountain trail much earlier in our time. This, however, is a bit more of a problem. The Hafez's boils, the measles, are rampant in the area north of here. So we do have to be somewhat careful that we will not be afflicted by that. But the siege is about to be completed, and still no sign of any enemy activity in the area. So we'll make our way south and begin controlling the lands and sorting out. With that, I think we should be able to sort out our things as well. But meanwhile, Tarkulf, after a brief period of illness in his old age, has died of consumption and has joined his wives in the afterlife. Sad as things are, it is also not unexpected. Where did that plague go? Is it still there? No, it's gone. Okay, so we can switch her back to advanced research. But that means the chancellor position is vacant. So no, we're not appointing the mayors just because they want to, but we'll have the best diplomat gets the job, and that is Ebon. So he will be our new chancellor, taking care of domestic affairs. And with that, we'll have to keep a close eye on things, but we are at the cusp of taking Beirut Castle after a long and dour siege. The castle has fallen, and once again we have captured Sheikh Rasul's spymaster and his wife. The wife of the Sheikh or the wife of the spymaster. So we have taken Beirut, and it looks like there is an enemy army forming in the south. So that's a city. These are cities, so we should be able to pass and engage that without trouble. We'll move and see that we can stamp out any kind of opposition early on. Now we have taken a few prisoners. So okay, that is the spouse of the sheikh, not the spouse of the spymaster. So we shall obviously release her and have her ransomed off. Whereas his spymaster, he couldn't care less. So again, we'll just release him, because we have no reason to be unnecessarily cruel towards the people of the land. We're more here to take care. Okay, that army is rapidly growing in size, so I believe we are probably better advised to return to Beirut Castle and see if they wish to attack us. I mean, we could probably take them on, but it would be a risk. It looks like they are beginning to raise their armies in earnest now. So the castle of Tiberias would get us close to the border of Jerusalem, but it is a risk. Well, we are restocked, and we believe that we can win this fight. So okay, not if they get this reinforced. There's another 4,000 men coming from the south. Okay, we'll turn about and we will retreat towards Beirut and defend ourselves there. That's a gruesome number of. Okay, that's a massive number of enemy forces arriving now. So I don't think we can even hold Beirut against all these men, unless help arrives soon. We might have to abandon Beirut Castle and move further north, because that is that's the combined armies of the sheikdoms here. So we will not necessarily stand. We will not stand against that, definitely. So Beirut Castle might have to be abandoned to the enemy. And what is the terrain here? Terrain, it's hilly, so hills are not ideal for us to fight in. But regardless, with this many men approaching, I think we will retreat northwards if necessary, and then rejoin once the rest of the armies has arrived. Let's see what happens. Okay, my spouse's piety has impressed the Pope. So well done, Peronella. She is the best. I was watching Charles, who's my ward, play with other children when Takulf tried to push him over. Soon a brawl had broken out among the children. Let's see. Wrathful, not a trait. I think forgiving would be the better one. Yes, it's a virtuous trait. So he must be taught to turn the other cheek. Right. It looks like we'll see. It looks like they're milling about mostly. Okay, Mudran, Muadan, has become infirm, one of my old knights as well. And with that, the bodyguard position is actually vacated, because obviously if he's infirm, then he cannot do that. So for now, I will take Antoine as into the position of bodyguard, and we'll leave it at that. Okay, it looks like they are not actually willing to try and assault us in the north here, but we'll keep a close eye on the enemy movements. There are definitely too many troops for us to fight out in the open, but it looks like they're also weary of trying to take us on in battle. So we will have to wait for... I have no idea whether Crusaders are coming, but they might either arrive by sea or by land. And for now, we will hold our place in the mountains here, and or in the hills, and observe where the enemy armies are going. Farah has been showing off a promising new recruit we've got. He may not be of noble stock, but but on my name, I swear that Belmont is someone you would want on your side. Belmont de Foix. He is honorable, albeit a bit wrathful. He's quite intelligent, and yes, absolutely, he shall join our court. And I would say he would make a good knight, definitely. So okay, there come the reinforcements. Yes, there they come. Okay, they'll be arriving from the north, and Elodie, who I had somewhat forced into the marriage with René, has given birth to a daughter, and yes, Peronella. May you grow, little Peronella de Villeron, may you grow strong and wise. So let's have a look at that latest grandchild. Oh wow, she's both intelligent and robust. So I think I'm going to educate her myself, to be honest. I do have a free slot, so let's do that. So my granddaughter shall be under my care while the father is away. And I see now why they have stopped moving, because it looks like the forces in the north are arriving in larger numbers. So let's move back towards the castle in Beirut, and there will be the vanguard there. For now, we'll not be moving out into any further territories, but we may be able to... we've got a good amount of supply here, not as good as in Tripolis, but we'll be waiting for friendly troops to arrive, and then we will take what opportunity we can get to overwhelm the enemy here and to take Jerusalem as the Pope has decreed. The friendly armies have landed in the north, and it looks near the fatal mountain pass where things went so badly for us back many years ago. And it seems that they are planning to move through the northern territory here and potentially besiege that. So for now, we'll be holding out here in our little controlled region at the castle, and we'll wait for them. We'll wait for them to march in. But meanwhile, Farah the Brave, my best friend, has died of old age at the age of 64, following his spouse Constantia the Noble, who has preceded him by quite a bit. He's been maimed in battle. He lost an arm. He has been my friend through thick and thin, despite some questionable things that would happen. And now there's a deep and endless hole in my heart. Farah was a constant companion and confidant, and to have him ripped from my life feels like a mortal wound from which I will never recover. My hands clasp a note he gave me, the last note he ever will give me, I realize bitterly. I try to read it, but all I can do is move it away from my face, that the precious words contained within are not washed away by my tears. Though there is a crowd of many mourners around me, I've never felt so alone. So I can either go and Never Forgive This Day, which has a 22% of falling into depression. which would be a melancholic, or I will get ongoing heartache and be strong and move forward. I think I shall never forget this day, and see what we can see if we can remember him for who he was. We've gained 15. We've experienced some level of catharsis. Gained 15 stress. Actually, his stress is relatively high, so we might have to do something about that at some point. But for now, we're waiting for the troops to move in from the north. And is that another petty king who's trying to arrange a betrothal? His 12-year-old daughter, Concobert. Tag Concobert? I don't know, I have no idea how to pronounce this. Petty King Tugged of somewhere in Ireland, I presume. No, Aldéric we shall decline. Aldéric is at war and has no interest in these kind of things at this point. It's an empty council position. Oh yeah, the marshal. So we do have to appoint a new marshal. I think we have enough people who are capable. We've got Thierry, who's currently commanding the army, or we could get Milo, my knight, Milo. They're both of equal skill, so I think we'll get the gallant Milo as our. And he will train commanders as our marshal. And such, the first generation is starting to filter out relatively quickly here. I think Pironella is the first from the original court that is still around. So once more, we'll be waiting for the troops in the north to make their way here and then participate in further action against the enemy towards the goal of Jerusalem. We've got the Knights Templar actually moving about, but they so far seem to be more interested in besieging the north. Princess Cecilia, the Reformer of England, has left because she died from a seizure. All right, a quick look just to be careful that there are no plagues going on. No, we're actually okay. Well, that plague here has removed itself as well, so we're in good position. And we seem to have they're holding the objective, obviously, which being Jerusalem, but there's no way we can break through towards Jerusalem just yet. So these people in the north need to get their act together and need to start moving south, otherwise we're never getting anywhere. We could try to besiege the castle of Baalbek, and in the meantime, that might be worth our time up in the mountains here. While the enemy is not moving, we shall begin besieging the castle. As we have made our way through the mountains towards the fort in Baalbek, in a small town, a slave trader was encountered and obviously taken care of pretty immediately. And Aldéric has come across Bothild Svensdotter Sverker, a woman who's been through a lot in her life, and who has lost one of her eyes and one of her legs at an early age in various battles, and who had been captured by slavers and was to be sold with her due to her blonde hair to the locals. He has rescued her, and the two of them, despite his disfigurement, have found it that they wished to stay with each other. So as such, Aldéric and Bothild have gotten married on the battlefield, and the two of them together will hopefully find some peace when this whole thing is over. But for now, we're continuing the siege of Baalbek, and finally the troops from the north are arriving. So we're starting to move closer. So I think we're going to see some major battles coming soon. We might have to abandon the siege actually to join in the battles if necessary. But the troops are now moving through friendly territory, and I think they are about to engage each other. So we shall abandon the siege and move move ahead and throw our forces into the fray as it comes to pass, and ensure the victory, ensure that we are in this at the fields near the city of Tyre, that we will be victorious. So we have joined with the friendly forces, tens of thousands of men across the field, and we definitely have the advantage. The enemy commander Jamal is running low on supplies, and by the looks of it, our knights are doing what they can on the field, and we have achieved the victory. And I think with that we have been victorious, and I think the roads to Jerusalem are now open. My personal champion, Charles, is infirm, so he can no longer fulfill his duties, which means we are going to need a new personal champion, and we're actually not having an awful lot. I think we're going to get René, the husband of Elodie, as the personal champion. And with that, and he can improve his skills as he goes, and with that become famed. But let's look at this battle, because after the clash where we have outnumbered the enemy almost 2-1 at the battle at Tyre, we have slain 13,000 for the loss of less than 3,000 of our own. And when it comes to the knights, obviously a lot of them from all kinds, but Radomir has stood out from our sides and has slain 40 all in all. So I would say with that, and René, my personal champion, has been actually wounded in battle. But I think it was a minor wound, so he has conducted himself well. And now I think we are at the point where we can move forward. Where's the next castle? Towards the castle at Tiberias, or we can even, if I can actually select my own army in this mess, there we go. We might even be able to directly march onto Jerusalem now that the enemy has been defeated in the field. No, we cannot bypass the castle, so we'll have to take. I think the castle at Acre is the next logical one to take, and from there on we shall march on to Jerusalem.